Hey everyone, today we're going to look at the Cloudformation service in AWS. Cloudformation actually gives an easy way for system administrators as well as developers to create and manage AWS resources as well as provision them periodically. So you can find AWS as you can find Cloudformation service, the services section in AWS over here. On clicking on Cloudformation, you will reach this page. You can find that you're asked to select a template. Now, CloudFormation actually deals with two different things. One is a template and one is a stack. So, stack is a collection of different stuff like it includes your EC2 instance, your VPC, your security groups, your NAT gateways, etc. So, in order to create a stack, you actually need a template. So you can either design a template using the design template tool. This provides a drag and drop functionality wherein you can actually design your whole enterprise infrastructure, or you can actually choose a template. We are going to go with a sample template called CloudFormer. You also have the option to actually upload a template that you created earlier. We'll be looking at this closely over time. Now you can also use the S3 template URL that's already there. It's a default template. We are not going to use that now. Let's select CloudFormer template and click on next. Now here you have to give a name for your stack. So we're gonna give the name as AWS CloudFormer, and you have to give the default. You have to give a username and password. So let's just give the username. Let's give our username and password. So I'm gonna give them my username as CloudFormer and the password as some password. So you must remember this username and password as we actually need this to log into our template and edit it later. So keep a note of that. Click on next and load up the whole template. You can actually review whatever you have configured over here. Here we can see that our template is in creation. Over time you can actually find that it's completed creation, and then from here you can actually select the outputs tab, and from the outputs tab you can actually get a link through which you can actually launch the template editing tool. So we're gonna go to the template editing tool. Here you actually need to remember the username and password that you gave earlier. Use that to log into the screen. So you'll get this screen. In this screen we're going to create our template now. Select the AWS region and click on create template. You'll be presented with the next screen where you have to actually give a name for the template. We're going to give the name as ADDS lab. Now we have the option to select all the resources in my account, so I'm going to leave that as default for the time being. I'm going to select the default DNS and default VPC over here. The VPC network, I only select the subnets that are actually required to be migrated to the new region. Click on next and click on the elastic IP address that I actually need. Now click on next. I'm gonna click on the RDGW stack that I actually created earlier. So this is ADDS scenario 3 RDGW stack that I created earlier. I'm gonna click on continue. I'm gonna use the auto scaling group that I actually created earlier. This is what I need for the next group. All the others like compute, storage, app configuration, app services, etc. are left as default. So we finally move on to the security groups. So I only need a D916 security group and the ADDS security groups that I actually created earlier. I'm not going to select the other ones. Next we actually move on to operational policies, which we're going to leave as default. We don't have anything displayed. You'll get a summary of whatever you have done when you click on continue, and we'll launch the template. This is a summary of whatever we have configured till now. When you click on continue, you have the option of actually saving the template or downloading the template. We're going to just save the template to our bucket called ADDS bucket new. So I'm going to click on save template, and I'm actually given this screen saying that the template has been successfully saved into my S3. Now I can actually go back to my S3 to check out my template. So let's look at how my template looks like. Let's go to our S3. Let's go to our S3 now. Here you can actually find our Cloudformation template that we actually created earlier. We need this template because we need to download it and edit it. This is actually a JSON file that you can actually edit online or using the Visual Studio. Let's just download this Cloudformation template file. Over here I've actually loaded up the JSON editor online, and I've loaded up my JSON file from open from disk, and loaded up the JSON file that we actually downloaded earlier. So in this you can actually find the whole configurations that we have actually made for the template. So since I actually need to migrate this to the new region, I'm actually going to replace some of the code. So here we will actually replace the default subnet to MRI subnet 01, replace the VPC to Mridul VPC 1, replace all the subnets like this. And what else I've done is I've actually changed the root scenario. I've changed some of the routes and all, because it needs to be different from the default route. So after editing all these things, you actually launch this thing onto the create template screen that we actually saw earlier. So let's just go to our Cloudformation. So in Cloudformation you can see default Cloudformer that's already created over here. This is in North California. So we actually need to create our new Cloudformer, load up a new template in a new region. So we're gonna go with Tokyo. So in Tokyo, just click on create stack. Since I actually need to load up the template that I actually created, we're gonna go with upload a template to Amazon S3. Just click on that, click on choose file, and we're gonna load up our template. This is our template that we actually edited. You're gonna load up that thing and click on next. We give a stack name over here. So we're gonna give the name of the stack as Tokyo stack, because the stack is actually in Tokyo. We click on next. We are gonna give these as default and then load up the stack. So here we can actually see that our Tokyo stack that we actually created right now is has finished creation, and we can see the status as create complete. Now to check whether everything is working properly, let's just check out, just mind the location. It's in Tokyo. We're gonna go to EC2 instance and check out if the instance is actually there. So since I've actually disabled the auto scaling group for the time being, you won't see any instance, so I'll actually set the auto scaling group to on. You can see that the Tokyo stack is working properly. So if I actually edit the auto scaling group and set the decide as one instance, and then just save it, this should actually take a few seconds to actually initialize. You can see over here that since you actually enable auto scaling to default one instance, it's actually creating the RDGW instance. This means that it's working properly. Now we can actually check out our VPC. So here we can actually see that our VPCs are configured by default. This has been created through the template template that we loaded up, the default VPC. So this means that by loading the template, we have actually successfully deployed our whole enterprise scenario. Everything is working as it should. You can see that the instance is up and running. In the dashboard you can actually see that we have one elastic IP that's functioning properly. So this concludes our whole session on Cloudformation. We have actually learned how to deploy a stack using a template, and then editing the template and launching the whole stack onto a new location. It's a really good feature in AWS, and I think you should try it out.